Hello, shallow friends.
And welcome to episode 14
14, guys.
of The Shallow End.
This is the perfect timing to have our 14th episode because somebody just turned 14 yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Wow. I had to think about that for a minute. Like,
bad dad alert.
What are we talking about?
My youngest brother turned 14 yesterday.
Yeah, we had a 14th birthday in the home.
It was, yeah.
All right, and before we get into where the hell are we?
I don't know if our audio-only listeners can already tell that something's
Yeah,
a little different.
I think
like
there's probably already some questions
background noise.
happening. But and before we talk about our topic, I just wanted to know whether you had any notes from the last couple episodes. Did you want to talk about any of the feedback that we had?
Well, I don't know if this is feedback that other people have given us. I think it's feedback that our own brains have told ourselves. Because you and I are very self-examining and self-critical. And we both, on our own time, realized that we had kind of sunk into a pattern.
I would call it a trap.
Trap? I don't know. Trap makes it sound like it's negative because I don't think that what we were actually doing was like bad itself. Okay, let's talk about what we're talking about. What we're talking about is we have gotten into this pattern of just recommending stuff, like talking about other stuff as our way of producing our own media. Like our conversation is just centered around other people's art. And that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
every now and then.
We had fun doing it, and
Absolutely.
we believe in the things we were saying. But
Absolutely.
then when you start to see like 4 out of the last 5 episodes are
just recommendations.
Yeah,
and things.
it's like, that's not really what this was supposed to be.
Yeah, it wasn't the intended purpose of the podcast. Yeah.
And so I'm kind of happy that we're where we are, and we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about because we're breaking out of that.
Yeah, we're breaking the mold.
By going back to our roots.
The source of it all.
So there's a bunch of reasons why this is a very special episode.
Yeah, that's true.
This is our first attempt at a truly remote recording where
I don't know if you could tell.
There's some chaos going on.
Yeah, we're not in our home.
We're not in our home,
I don't know if that's
although
clear.
there's sometimes chaos in our home.
That's true.
But tonight we are not in our home. We are actually recording on July 4th.
Happy birthday, America.
Yeah, America. As fireworks are about to start.
Mm-hmm.
And we are not watching fireworks. We're going to make the fireworks happen.
Yep.
Also, this is a special episode because we're actually recording from the birthplace of the Shallow End.
Yes. The place that you birthed this idea out of your brain womb, like Zeus.
Like, sometimes that happens. Not always, but sometimes I have good ideas.
You having ideas? Yeah, every now and then.
Okay, also, we have to get this out of the way.
Oh, yeah, we have to talk about our wine because this is something that we bought specifically.
Yeah, we got this tonight here. I don't know, Chateau, blah, 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 blah.
It's something in French.
It's a bourbon thing.
It's a bourbon thing?
Not a bourbon thing.
That was confusing for me.
I know. It's a Bordeaux thing. That's the word I meant. I have Biden style aphasia.
No, it's a Bordeaux.
It's a Bordeaux. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
It's too young.
It is. Yeah, it's a little like light and watery for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For a red wine, but I'm enjoying it.
That's okay.
Nevertheless.
We'll get into other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we are on our last glasses of this bottle.
Yes.
We pre-gamed the podcast.
And let's just call it out. We have an unofficial sponsorship from Bodie's tonight. This is Bodie's Chop House in East Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Please don't stalk us and kill us.
Don't stalk us or kill us or do anything mean to us. Just do nice things for us. And if you are in West Michigan, you should come to Bodie's.
Check it out. Yeah, it's a great spot.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But we're in the center of East Grand Rapids, which is about to celebrate our nation's birthday.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit here and
Drink and chat.
Drink and chat about... What's our kind of topic about, Rebecca?
This is fun that I get to introduce it because normally you introduce topics, but also you came up with this one.
I know, but that's why I want you to introduce it.
We're going to talk about the value of places because this place is so special and important in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. Especially to us and especially in this situation.
Right.
That we thought it would be a topic that we could expand upon very easily. Like I think you and I are both homebodies. So the places that we choose to spend our time in are valuable for a reason to us.
Right. So hopefully we're going to talk about what makes our favorite places special.
Yeah.
And learn from each other. Mm-hmm. We are both homebodies. That's a really good point.
Are, yeah.
It might be a really short episode.
Yeah, we just started. Like
Homebodies.
I started thinking about home, and like, there's this phrase that you and Mom say to each other: "Bed is best," and it has only continued to prove itself true in my life.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Like I like almost always would rather be in bed.
Yeah. Is that a sign of appreciation for a place or just laziness?
Could be both.
Maybe
Who
both.
can say?
Who can say? Another of your mother's
Bruism.
favorite.
Yeah. All right. Well, yet again, this was an episode where I was like, "Oh, this is one I'd like to plan for." And then I showed up with nothing prepped, no notes.
I think what we should start with is talking about the growth of Bodie's turning into a special place for us.
Yeah.
Because when we say that the idea of doing a podcast together was birthed here, that's a literal, like, it truly happened across a dozen or more conversations at the bar that's right over there.
Yeah.
And so naturally this becomes a special place for us because we know we can always come here and have these unique conversations, real conversations. We wind up on topics that we never would discuss at home.
That's what
or at the dinner table.
I was just thinking, like, like when you tell people, like, oh, my dad and I, we hang out at a bar a lot. Like, people think one thing, but, like, I feel like people, at least in my generation, when you go to a bar, you're not going to have a conversation with somebody, you know? Like, you're going for, like, the thrill of being around the high energy of other people and, like, the chatter and the movement and busyness of being out. And I would even say as a distraction from having to have those real emotions and thoughts. But we go to places like this for the sole purpose of having those conversations. We're coming here because we're like, today sucked. Let's go talk and drink in comfortable chairs.
I think it's interesting because it doesn't matter whether I come alone or with you and Maggie, or with Mom and you and Maggie, or just with Mom. Like, it doesn't matter what subset of people are here. The same thing always happens. There's always really good conversation. I mean, you just talked about pre-gaming. We just had a great conversation at the bar. And it's like, that doesn't happen anywhere else. No. I don't get to know somebody at that level.
Just like a random person that you happen to sit next to. Right. Like suddenly you're having... Because that's very true. Bodie's is the only place that I have come and... like a stranger next to me, immediately... I mean, it could have to do with they pour some strong drinks here. But I've had, like, soul conversations with 50-year-old women so many times. Like when I say countless, I really mean it. It's like I couldn't count how many times it's happened to me. And it's amazing every time.
So what does that say about this place in other people's lives?
Well, I was going to say...
Do you go?
I at least can say why this place is so unique to me, because I feel like most restaurants advertise themselves as being like, when you're here, you should be comfortable. We want you to be like, feel welcomed, and like you can stay as long as you want. But that's never the reality of being in a restaurant.
Right.
You feel rushed. You feel like a number, and just like a cash cow. You know, like they want you in and out, right? So they can rotate as much as possible. But honestly, when we come here, like the bartenders and the servers are like, just want to hang out with you, like have a they want to chit chat, like they really do enjoy what they're doing and do it to talk to people.
It's true hospitality.
It really is.
It's not. I mean, it's obviously still commercial. Like there
Right.
is a business happening here,
Right.
But it's true hospitality, and like, I mean, we were talking about like one of the bartenders and I just went golfing last week. Like, it's real relationship. It's not just like transactional. So.
And you met this dude through coming here. Like it's not like a previous relationship.
No, I never knew him before. But and that's people get to be themselves here, and they work their tails off when you're working here.
Yes.
But it's just great quality people, great quality product, and then they're allowed to be themselves and build relationships with a bunch of people. And you see people walk in here, and it's like every once in a while people will walk in, and then, like, the staff lights up, and they're like, "Hey, it's great to see you."
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, they like, I I worked here for like maybe a month. It might have been less than a month, but
you had a stern talking to at the end.
I didn't have a.
Perhaps you're not cut out for this pace.
Yes, that was what it ended up being. It was like with my physical limitations.
And you were. That was fair.
This life is not like this. The difference, and this speaks to Bodhi's also. The difference was this was a job for me in between a career.
Right.
And for the most of the people that work here, this is their career.
Right.
Like, this is how they pay the bills.
Right.
So these are like restaurant people.
Right.
And I was like, I can be a host and make some money before I like go back to school. Like, it was a different mindset also, outside of the physical stuff, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But this is the only place I've ever worked, because I've worked in a couple of different restaurants. This is the only restaurant I've worked at that every single employee that I spoke to had that, like, no, this is my job. Like, this is what I'm doing for life.
And I give a shit.
And I love it. Yeah. Like, these people live off of it. They get energy from it. It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, we're homebodies. They're not. I mean, some of them probably are, but they just pour themselves out every time they're here. So
I love it.
All right.
I forgot where we were.
I don't know where we were either.
I lost our string. Help.
I'm kind of done with the wine too.
Are you done with the wine?
Kind of like I'm kind of anxiously looking forward to the next thing.
We're gonna do cocktails next, which is exciting.
Well, we've knocked off one of my check boxes of place. I think we've talked about. I mean, the commercial for Bodhi's is over now.
You can pay us at any time.
I think as I was thinking about the significance of places, and we've kind of talked about it already a little bit, is the idea of home and what is home in different senses. And I feel like it's an opportunity for us to talk about what has home been over the course of our lives and what has it meant to us. Because that place, sometimes it's a real place, like a specific structure.
Physical location.
And sometimes it's just an idea. But like when I was growing up, I didn't really have a big affinity towards any physical place because there was a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
And, as an adult, I've had very strong affinity towards a couple of the places that I've lived. And I definitely don't have that towards the place I live right now.
Yeah.
And yet, still bed is best.
Yes.
So, it's just, I would like to hear what your experience of home has been.
So I love that you brought this up, because this is something that I am only recently my experience has changed. But it was the same for a long time. So while I think this is an experience most people have, but I went to college, and you don't really have a home at that point. Your stuff is in one place, but the place that you feel like is home is in another.
Right.
And it's just tough. And then I did that for 2 years, where like I never really felt like I had a home. Like, you're just always feeling like you have to pick up and move at any moment, especially in college, because you always feel like, at least for me, I was only in one place for a year at most, and then I had to move everything to a different spot. So I never felt like I had roots anywhere, and then COVID hit, and then I moved back to my family home for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I transferred.
Well, I was going to say
colleges
for 2 years. While we also moved homes.
At the same time, COVID hit, and was it right before COVID hit or right after COVID hit?
It was during COVID that we sold the
house. We sold the house during COVID. And so while we were selling the house, it didn't feel like our house anymore. Because everything was like it was staged. When we had showings, we had to set everything up like we didn't live there and then leave for hours on end.
We had to bake cookies like we lived there, but
we baked cookies, so it smelled like people lived there still, which was honestly the most insulting part of the whole thing. Because, like, my job was setting up the kitchen, and it was like, what are these plates? We've never eaten off of these plates.
It worked, okay?
It worked. I mean, we sold it, but
by the way, it's advertising, so let's not...
It did suck,
let's
though.
Let's not crush on it too much.
It didn't... It felt less and less like home.
Yeah.
As we primped it up
I get that.
more and more for somebody else to have, you know?
Yeah.
And then we moved, and the new house, like, still, like, didn't feel like my house, because it was like, well, my parents live here now, and my younger siblings live here,
right.
But I don't feel like I live here. Like, I sleep here, I guess, but this isn't my house. This is my parents' house.
Right.
And then I transferred to a different college, which is where I live now, and I've lived in the same spot now for 2 years, going on 3 years, and finally,
right.
I'm at the point where I'm like, if I think of home, I think of my apartment.
Right. Yep.
And that is something that is new, like, within, like, it's been like 5 years that I haven't felt like I had a home.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you talk about, like, I think there's a natural transitionary period as someone goes from living at home to college.
Yes.
And there's like that bounce back and forth. And it made me think about like my own experience going to college. Fairly soon after I went to college, my parents sold their home and went to Florida.
Gee.
So I had no home to go back to.
Hard and fast break right there.
Like, oh, okay, you are like.
Let me put some roots down here, I guess. Like,
yeah. So, but I think that those experiences,
tough.
like I think it's natural to have that transitionary kind of phase, where it's like, no, you haven't built anything up, but now you've been in your place for 2 years, like you said, going on 3. But after this year, you're gonna have.
I have to make a decision
have a next step.
about what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
So it's just interesting. Tell me how. I mean, the home that you live in now, it's an apartment.
It is, yeah.
So when we are talking about the topic being the places that are important to us. Just this little 2-bedroom apartment.
God, I love it so much.
Okay. It doesn't really matter how fancy it is.
No, it's not like it's an old, like, things are breaking. I turn on my AC and my whole apartment smells like a cave because the AC unit is so old. It's full of like mold and like
lovely
dirt and that. Like, I know that there's a creature that lives in there because I hear it moving and my cats freak out.
In your AC unit?
Yes. I hear it skittering around in there. But like, I love that place. But also, I think I was able to connect with it more because when I was moving in, I was like, this isn't, I'm out in a year. Because it's a dorm and then somebody else will move in.
Right.
This is this is my spot in this city where I don't know anybody. So I felt more free to nest because it felt more permanent.
And you got your kittens right away.
Yeah, I
right?
did. Yeah, I never knew that apartment without having my kittens.
Right.
So I also had that.
That's right.
But yeah.
Well, so I'm just like Is it the space that is important, or is it our brains that are identifying with a sense of like it's the experience?
I think it can be both. So I think for my current apartment, which we call the nest, it's the nest.
Because she's
I'm
like
on the
up
top
on
floor,
the
and
top
there's
floor
a
of the
big
building.
tree like right by my balcony that
she feeds squirrels by hand.
Yeah, they come up to my door and tap on my glass door when they're hungry until I come out and give them a cashew.
And her cats love this.
They
of course.
hate it. They want to eat them so bad.
Tell the story about the workers in your apartment this week.
Wait, okay, I have a couple.
No, I want to talk about your cats.
Oh, okay. So Monday, a bunch of workers descended on my apartment. To like, it's just like like a unit refresh kind of thing. So they were replacing like lights and like the heat register, like just like a bunch of like updating.
Yeah.
And
like
they were all
showing they care.
They care so much about each of us individually. Half of my apartment didn't have hot water for like 3 weeks. No, it's a great spot.
Sounds like home to me.
They were all, I mean, it's like 6 or 7 or 8 adult men, like working men in my apartment as a single, I'm living like alone. It freaked me out at first, but they were all super nice, super respectful, like left me alone most of the time because I was in the apartment the entire time they were working, but they mostly left me alone, which was great. But the first couple of men that got there, one of them caught a glimpse of one of my cats and went, "Oh, hey kitty, whoa, that's a big ass cat." And I was like, "Excuse me, what did you say about my son?" Like I was offended on his behalf.
Why?
That's rude.
Big ass cat.
He's trim.
He's not
fit.
fat.
He's
no.
not.
He's a big cat though.
He's got some broad shoulders.
I mean,
he's big boned.
Just saying, if you were to ever, the fireworks are happening now.
It's 10:05. The fireworks are going off.
Welcome to Michigan, where we set fireworks off at 10 o'clock.
Happy freedom.
America! Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah, America. But, so I think for my apartment, it's not the actual physical location, but it's the fact that it was a new city, kind of like a fresh start in my mindset in the moment.
Right.
I was able to like make it a home. But I do think like our last house that our family lived in, like that house has an energy. That physical location,
I would agree,
touched us. Like,
yeah,
like
and,
that,
and still sits there.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Like
when you move out of the current apartment, you're not gonna. You might have a sense of nostalgia every once in a while for like, oh, that was a great spot to go to school and have that.
Yes, but I won't yearn for the physical location.
Right, and that old house.
I yearn.
Well, when we've talked about this, we will always want to go back there.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
The popo.
Something's going on right around the corner. How fun.
Cool.
We're all just celebrating the 4th of July.
We might be a
guys.
live crime podcast.
Hey,
now.
listen. I did call it out earlier.
Tell them about the thing you saw. This is totally off our topic, but this is
totally off topic. But as we're sitting there pre-gaming, getting ready,
people are running.
We have lots of people running.
That makes me nervous.
I saw 5 people.
People are running and filming?
Yeah, I saw 5 people with backpacks go towards that direction.
Look, you can see the lights in the background. There's a police car right in front of the window right now.
And there's a fire truck now. And there were 5 people that were adult human beings with full backpacks walking without strollers, without children, without spouses, like very
like in a line,
marching in a line
order,
across the window. And I was like, that's interesting.
Freaky. Yeah.
Okay,
I wonder what's going on.
Let's pause because I want to put an order in for our cocktail.
Hey y'all.
hey, we got new drinks.
Well, I still am finishing my wine.
I know, but and we do have an update on the emergency situation that transpired here.
Yes.
Real-time podcast blog. We hope the gentleman across the street is doing well. We think maybe a few too many hours out on the boat today.
Yeah, so apparently
he kind of just went.
somebody across the street at one of the restaurants across the street was passed out on a table.
And so
they had to call the police and the fire truck and the ambulance.
Yeah, we had two police cars, a fire truck, and eventually an ambulance.
Which just drove away.
Yeah, which just drove away.
Yeah,
so
probably with the gentleman.
All is well.
Yep.
We hope that gentleman
Everybody's
is
okay.
And we're now approaching overstaying our welcome.
This welcome is
possibly
popping. Okay, so we were talking about the value of home. And we were talking about this old house that our family had, that we, at least half of our family, I would say over half, have this connection to, like deep, this draw.
Deep affection for this like, physical thing.
Like the way that Maggie and I talk about it is it feels like a mother. It's very like part of the family, like nurturing, like
it brought us
wrapping you in her arms, like the old, like
I
it's
love
an
that
old
imagery.
House. It's like it's got its quirks and creaks and flaws, but it fits us as a family so well, and it like adjusted to fit us, and we adjusted to fit her, and it was just right,
I love that way of describing it because that resonates with how I feel about it, but I wouldn't have been able to come up with those words. It definitely felt like so when we first bought that house, we did a little bit of work on it before we moved in. Mm-hmm. And I would go to that house and just sit in the rooms while it was being worked on, and just sit and kind of like
soak up the energy of it.
It was more soaking up, like I'm appreciating that I'm allowed to be here.
Right? Well, like what a gift. I feel so
I would do that a couple times a week because I felt so lucky.
Well, okay, so the way that you and Mom ended up with on this house is an unconventional path also, because it wasn't for sale.
No, it wasn't for sale.
It's first of all, it's an old house that has very few families that have owned it since it was built.
It's about 100 years old now. We were the third family to live in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now we haven't lived in it for 5 years, but
it still feels like our house, though.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, it was one of these weird things where I really wanted to be in this neighborhood, and Mom was very happy where we were, and at one point we were actually driving back from church, and she said, I don't know why it was coming up at that point, but she said, hey, if that house ever comes available, and it was right next door to people we knew from church.
Yes, that's true.
And so she's like, if that one's ever available,
as like
I would move.
As like a.
And I'm like, challenge accepted.
But like in a way that was not very like. I mean, my mother doesn't say things unless she means it a little, but that seems like something she would say as like a kind of like a joke.
It was kind of a joke.
Because that kind of house, like...
But then I asked... But then I asked around, and I learned that the couple that owned it was, like, all their kids... Like, they were older,
it was an older
and
couple, yeah.
all the kids were well past the age of... Like, they all had their own lives and everything, and they were like, we keep half the house shut down. Like, it's too much for us. We're ready.
But it wasn't listed.
But it wasn't listed yet. And it wasn't a great real estate market to list.
No.
And, when I asked around and learned that they were thinking of listing it, I'm like, can we talk to them?
So the story I remember, I don't know if this was actually what I was told, but this is what my brain has decided is the truth, is that you and Mom just, like, went up to their door one day.
We had an introduction.
Okay.
So,
okay.
We had a connection, a common friendship with somebody that connected us and got us that first, at least the introduction of the idea that there was somebody interested, and he wound up saying, "You should just go sit and talk to them."
Yeah, go have it
and we did. That's exactly what we did. We just literally went and said, "Hey, we're the people that might be interested in the house," and they were like, "Oh, cool, come on in."
Yeah.
And we sat on the version of the back porch that existed back then.
I miss that house so much.
And we had a conversation, and they were such great caretakers of that home. They appreciated everything.
Yes.
So the husband was a doctor. The wife was a preacher.
Oh.
Yeah. And
interesting. I didn't know that part.
We had this conversation, and the husband was very businesslike, very cordial and very welcoming, but very businesslike about it. And the wife, at the end of our conversation, after we were talking about, like, what our family is and what we're about and everything, she said, "I have prayed to God that someone will just knock on my door and it will be the right fit."
Yeah.
Because we feel so strongly about this home. And in the end, like, we wound up being able to buy that house.
Yeah. And like, as somebody that... Sorry, it's loud in here. It's getting a little rowdy. We're celebrating our country. And
we're also
hats.
Celebrating the end of the evening.
And also alcohol.
Generally gets louder. Yeah.
And we're going to keep it all in, so you experience it with us.
Fine. Yep.
No, I like it. It's exactly what we were...
It's the energy we were hoping for.
But as somebody that's lived in that house, if I were to imagine a family that I would handpick to have it after me, it would have been our family when we moved in.
Yes.
Because it was a big family, like lots of kids, who will fill up the house with the youth and life, like young family who will appreciate it for all that it is.
And that couple had raised 5 children in that house, bought it in the 1970, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they had been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
About almost 50 years.
For a long time, yeah.
Like, they had that house. It was the family that built it and then lived in it, and then them and their 5 kids. Like, those were the 2 things that had happened in this house that was almost 100 years old.
It's so
that
beautiful.
Is special.
Yeah.
And like to then learn all the history of that place, because we're talking about places, right? Like, how important are places? That place, like, they told us all about the different plants, like the trees they planted for different kids at different times, and why those trees were the ones they chose. They told us about how the family that built the house had all the property around it
for each
originally,
of their different kids,
and
like,
then it was like their vacation homes.
Yeah.
And the road behind, like a block behind us, was named after the 3 children of the original family.
Yeah,
it's just like those kinds of stories. Like, I mean, Glen Howell Place, like whatever the subdivisions that are being made these days, they don't have that sense of place.
No, they don't. Like, that's what it is. It's just like this. What it boils down to, and honestly, what this entire topic of this episode boils down to, is human connection. Hey, Shallow friends, it's Rebecca. I wanted to let you guys know that this is where the episode kind of takes a turn. It's still fun. It's still interesting. Don't bail on us, but it does get loud. We get a bunch of different people in who want to share their opinions, and we are sitting in a bar, so it gets pretty loud at certain points. So I just wanted to give a little heads up to our headphone users. Maybe turn it down a little bit. Maybe protect those little ears. All right. Have fun, guys.
Hi. Are you guests?
We're going to have 2 guests that are joining us spontaneously right now as we are recording.
And
which is part of the fun of this podcast, joining.
Especially when we're doing... Hey, here we go.
Hello. Say your names.
Say your name. By the way, we'll have...
Adam and Cheryl. Hi, welcome.
We have
Adam
a
and
very,
Cheryl.
very extensive release you'll have to sign at the end of this.
Yeah, no. We have no
not
paperwork
really.
and no legal team. Or HR.
There will be 20 people that listen
Cheers
to
to Adam and
this.
Cheryl.
Cheers.
Joining us.
Cheers.
Spontaneously. Okay, I have a question for you two.
Yes, I'm ready for the
So
question.
what we have just been talking about is the idea of home. So what we were talking about was I experienced for a long time, because I went to college, and college is weird. You don't feel like you have like a home, right?
Yeah.
And I've only recently felt like the apartment I live in is my home.
Thank
So
you.
what do you think? Yeah, we need you guys in the
We need to back this up so that
we
get
when
everybody
you're talking,
in
tuck
here.
your head in. So
Yeah,
what
tuck
do
it.
you think
Squeeze it.
defines to you home?
I don't think home is a place. I think it's like an experience or a memory for sure.
Okay.
Right.
So like, I don't think of my childhood home, but I think of like, it's weird, but like Adam and Chadwick, his husband, in Hinsdale, like their house was like a home to me.
Aw.
Like I was very comfortable, lots of good memories there. And then they're building a home that's like amazing, and we're creating great experiences there.
Oh, beautiful.
You guys
Would
were
you
in
say the same?
Hinsdale?
We were, Hinsdale, Illinois.
He's an Illinois boy.
I grew up in Glen Ellen.
Oh, yeah. Love
And
Glen Ellen.
Hinsdale is so wonderful. So when we talk about places and
Yeah.
really beautiful homes that have, like, they kind of like draw you in
Like
and
a history and an
welcome
energy to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome like
Did you say wealth or welcome?
welcome.
Welcome.
yeah. Both probably, but what I meant was like it welcomes experiences like these homes want things to happen here.
Yeah.
They want
It's not just like a collection of wooden siding. It's like an energy.
yeah.
And
I think Hinsdale has that.
well,
Yeah.
I've never been, so I couldn't say.
You
But
should go.
It's beautiful.
It is.
a
It
bunch
is
of
beautiful.
beautiful
It's
homes.
east on level
Steroids.
up. It's east,
It's
level
east
up.
on steroids. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would be able to handle that, but
Well, I mean, your checkbook couldn't handle it, but
oh god. I would
Maybe with
go.
this
you get out.
podcast.
You
I'd look at stuff and I get out. Oh, you think we're making
You
money
go-
off of it?
you.
Well, after our guest appearance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
here
right.
we go. Here we go.
You guys are gonna skyrocket us into
No,
virality.
If I pull my tit out, maybe.
No.
that's not home.
We do
Cheryl.
have an explicit tag,
Come on, that's
but
not
we
the
don't
value.
need
That's
that.
not the value of places.
What?
That's the topic. Is the value of places,
My tit is a place to some people.
and it has value,
It does.
and I love that for you.
I think this is a place for us.
Yeah.
We come here usually Fridays.
Yeah.
Come
Oh
on
my
in.
gosh, we have another guest.
The life of the bartender. Here we
I think the
go.
funny thing is like when you say home, right? It is truly just a
Give me
Sidle
it.
up.
statement.
Give me it.
Yeah.
Ready?
In the sense of not a place, but a feeling.
Yes, and that's the distinction between house and home.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh.
So we recently moved from Hinsdale to Ada,
Okay.
right? And we've been renovating this place, and it doesn't feel like home, right?
Yes, as it's
Hinsdale
happening, yeah.
felt like
Yeah.
home.
How long were
because-
you there?
So we were only there for 4 years, but we had renovated, but we had also furnished and like
Yeah.
had family, and it was like
Yeah,
this
you made it your
place-
own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in a place where this house is just a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, it's something that's stressful and time and money consuming.
100%.
You haven't had the opportunity to.
I have those
To nest.
experiences
You haven't nested
there
yet.
to make
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I would love to know, for you two, because we talked at the beginning of our episode about this place specifically, because this is the birthplace of our podcast, right? He had
We've
the
spent
idea,
$100 million.
right?
Here.
Like, okay,
Right.
right. So what is it about this place that keeps you coming back?
So it's
It's
Ryan, Ken,
Kenton.
Heather.
Yes, right. It's the people.
people.
It is the
It's
people.
the people.
It's a community here, like 100%. I can come here by myself on a Wednesday and I'll know 5 people.
Yeah,
You
right.
feel comfortable immediately. Like that's.
And know you're going to have a good time and have crazy
Yeah.
conversations.
So we were saying like this place, every
We've never
restaurant.
seen you here, though.
That's so weird
Ryan, are we regulars?
that we've just missed each other.
Are they more regular than we are?
Yeah, it's our 50-50.
Wow, guys, we're so equal. Oh my god.
But we're just on a
Happy 4th of July.
we're on a different
That's America.
schedule.
We come in at 5:30 and leave by 8:30.
Oh,
we
yeah,
come in
that's
at, like,
not how that
9.
works for us.
Yeah, we come at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We come in later and shut it down. You guys are
That's
shutting it
not
down
true.
tonight?
You guys are shutting it down with us.
We
Happy
shut it
4th
down
of
on
July,
Fridays.
America. It's
We
Thursday.
shut it down because someone died across the street.
Oh, jeez.
in honor of his
That's
memory.
kind of like, can we have some hope
Dad, it's a value of the place that he
he
died.
was okay?
I think he's okay.
They at
He
least
didn't look okay on the stretcher.
they drove away in an ambulance rather than a coroner's van.
But the ambulance wasn't like
no lights or
racing.
anything.
Well, when there's no lights, that means that
He's
there's
dead.
no sign of life.
No,
Or-
it's not that
Or
urgent.
they got him
or
in,
the
they're like,
hospital is a block away.
This
Like,
dude's just drunk. Give him an IV for fluids and let's go home. Go to the
We could all use
Yeah.
that, right?
So true.
yeah, why don't we have that in
So
East
you
Grand
guys
We
are
do.
bourbon drinkers.
We are.
We're-
He's a bourbon drinker,
I-
and he got it from.
I'll do.
he-
I'll drink every,
He
like pretty
influenced
much
me.
everything, but not
Yeah.
tequila.
Okay.
That song Zimbabwe played the other day. That was the only song. She
Well,
said that
you've
was good.
influenced most of my
Drinking.
drinking tastes.
That's not something I want on the
No,
podcast.
it's. You educated me.
Dad, you made me this
No,
way.
no,
I learned
it's a
it
good
from
thing.
you.
I love it because I can go into situations where I'm like with people my age who are learning on the job,
How
and
did
I'm
you
like,
know each other
he's my dad.
Yes.
in real life.
No, yeah, this
Yeah,
is
in
my
real
daughter.
life.
Aww.
We
That's
share
my dad
genes.
too, but he's not my dad.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Oh, so
my
not in
husband,
real life.
what everybody calls him dad because he's
like
the
super
responsible
responsible.
Is he the responsible
Oh,
one?
he's the one that keeps everybody.
But he's also the bourbon drinker.
That
So
poor
Oh, cool.
No, I probably relate to him.
Well, that's also a
way
very
more
dad
than
thing,
both
right?
of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But we love him.
I think Chadwick and I will
Good.
get along.
yeah, Chadwick's a good guy.
I think it's a great name.
He's a very good guy.
An amazing name.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. And he's got a great striped shirt.
yeah.
America.
Merca.
Yeah, you guys are like red, white, and blue.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you should
guys,
have
that's
seen
so-
the
and
America
the
shirt
stars,
he
too.
was going to wear.
I kind of wish he would have worn
I
that.
stopped him from that.
What
He
was
wasn't
it?
gonna wear it here.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, now you got to
Do you want to
spill.
say it on the pod?
Some like crazy Walmart bird.
Yeah.
Shirt.
No, he ordered it from
Well,
online.
tell them about the shirt that you saw on Facebook that you were gonna.
Yeah, I
wear.
wanted to. I almost bought a Facebook shirt because I'm still on Facebook.
Come on, Rye.
Oh, hey.
We have another guest.
The fireworks must be
Hello,
over. Look
everybody.
Hey,
at
I don't
Rye,
know
can
if
you
the mic will
pop the
pick up
bulb
on
out with
Adam,
your
look at-
champagne?
Hello, everybody.
Adam, look behind you.
This is our bartender,
They're
Ryan.
over.
Yeah.
He's also our bestie.
Ah.
I don't. You're not in the cam, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We're fine. We can't fit everybody
No,
in the
we
cam
can't.
at this
We definitely
point.
can't.
It's
But
just
you can
too
poke
much
your-
of a party. There you go. Yeah,
Cowboy
there he
hat.
is.
Is this live?
It's not
No,
live.
we're not live. We're just recording.
Ah.
Is this live? No.
Yeah, we have 0 people watching.
All up in the.
Everybody
in the mic.
Oh, it's turning into quite a scene here.
Do you want to join the pod?
Come on in.
Come on, Molly.
No, you don't.
Wait, say your name.
We're not streaming, we're just recording.
Hi, my name's Molly Vance. I am a very big fan of
The shallow end.
The Shallow End.
That's embarrassing.
When we have
for
to
us.
prompt it, it's kind of a oof.
Welcome to Molly.
Woof. Oh, there you go. Your hair got in there.
My shit. Honestly, your computer's probably getting really hot being propped up.
Yeah.
against the-
Oh my god.
I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry.
It's
We'll
okay.
Just turn
I'm gonna get exited.
the candle off.
Oh, the candle was back there?
Yeah, that's
I
what
blew
was
it
going
out. It was
on.
on. It was getting hot.
Whoops.
I was bending over. I said, "Oh, that's kind of hot."
Thank you for turning that off before it lit my
Turn it
computer
off.
on.
You're very welcome.
That's very responsible of you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
So good to see
Shout
you.
out.
Good to see you.
So head out.
Molly.
We'll see you next time.
Shout out
you.
to Molly for saving my computer.
Yay.
Literally, when you
Woo.
called, like,
Good
reserve
save.
the
You
spot
got
at
it.
the bar, I was like, this bitch
What'd
sounds
you get?
familiar, but
She
it's like,
almost
is it-
knocked
is it
that
Adam?
right
Is it
onto her
Chadwick?
white-
Is it fucking
That would be
Matt? Like,
No,
red
it's
and
Adam.
white.
And then literally I pull up the number. I love how you weren't like, it's Adam. Like, I'm honestly a little offended that when I
I
said,
always-
hi, it's
when I-
Molly, you weren't like, hey, it's Adam. Like,
When I call, I'm like, hey, it's Cheryl. Do you have?
yeah. Right, and
I love
he let me type in
that.
this
I said,
fucking
hey, how
phone
are you
number.
doing tonight? But
I
you said
know.
Molly. I was like, hey, Molly, how are you doing tonight?
I know, but like, some people are just like
I always
that,
call
you
her
know?
from Kelly's office. I'm like, hey, it's Cheryl. Do you have a 605 available?
605.
And then literally I type in this fucking number though, and I
Like it's a
Adam.
chiropractor's
You're like,
appointment.
Is this
Hey, Adam.
I literally go, hey Adam, how are you doing? Even though we had already on the how are you doing?
You guys had
Yeah.
already had
Now it's
pleasantries, so you had to
genuine, though,
redo them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Rerun the
anybody asks
script.
me how I'm doing,
We'll
I'm
cut
like,
that. We'll cut that. Don't
I
worry.
always say, I'm like, hey, Molly, it's Cheryl.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm like, how? She's like, how many?
You have
I
to
like
drop the name. Yeah, you drop the
Do you
name.
need the whole fucking bar? Tell me now.
Which has
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope
Isn't that
we
fun?
overlap eventually.
I think our highest number was 13 or 15. It
Oh,
was
that's
just a couple
so
weeks ago.
annoying. I'm so sorry.
I mean, honestly, you guys start with like 4 to 6, and then God knows how
We
many
had
people
every
sometimes.
stool except for like
No,
one or
actually,
two.
no. I kind of remember that you were like, "Do you have room for like 10?"
No, I think we did 6, and then it was like we kept
No,
adding.
it was like the entire bar.
I think
like,
it was, and we pulled in a couple extra chairs.
Yeah.
It was like-
I did that today because honestly, when the back room was closed, it's so easy because like I had people come in and they were like, "Oh, there's 3 of us," and I was like, "I have 2 spots," and I was
Did
like,
you guys close
"I'll
back
just-"
there tonight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We ran with 2 servers up front.
Ryan said they had
Limited reservation.
Yeah, they
25.
they had 25 covers
We
tonight. That's
honestly, I don't know what the numbers
crazy.
look like now. But
It's
like,
better.
We ended up with more, but also half
Yeah.
the bitches who pulled up just wanted drinks and to sit on.
Dude, it's probably like total covers. I would say 100 maximum.
Oh,
but
no.
you're making way less money than you would for normal
Because it's just
100 covers.
yeah, it's just
No,
drinks.
Yeah.
we, like our covers were like 50.
50
Oh, really?
maybe?
I think we started like 34. I think was like our starting number.
That's crazy. You didn't
No,
get,
I mean it's
I
quite.
would
But you
think
know
that
what?
there were more walk-ins.
We knew it. It was better. It was at 18 like all week, and
There's-
I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Yeah,
like,
that's
coming to work.
so horrible.
But some of us love that we know you're still gonna be here for us.
Well, we were
People
like-
kept calling, and I answered. They were like, "Oh, I just wanted to see if you were open or not." And
Google
all
it.
these people I talked, and they were like, "Oh, so you are open?" I'm like, "Do you think somebody would be fucking answering the phone?" If
yeah,
you
that's
No,
so
no,
annoying.
She
yeah.
said, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I think that's Monday.
Sorry.
No one wants
The
to be.
full humor is coming out.
I love it.
Filter's gone.
She
Anyway.
clocked out and she's giving
There's
us
no-
the real her.
Should have no filter.
Molly.
Bye,
Good
Mom.
night. See you next time.
Okay. I had to go.
Yeah.
Is Dad calling you
Dad's
over there?
Dad's
Well,
done.
Dad's ready to go home.
Dad's ready to go to bed.
Dad's doing angry texting now.
No.
Get the fuck over here.
Oh no, no,
Good.
he's showing
Maybe he's
off.
good.
He's talking to Reba.
Showing off to Reba.
Oh, my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
the
no, there's-
prices went up. It was $9. Now it's
For a car?
36.
I think you're worth $36.
Maybe not tonight.
What else are you gonna do? Sell a feet pic?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I mean, what did I see? Somebody who's the famous lady that just got. Somebody was like doing awful, like, misogynistic, you should...
Could be anyone.
Are you on OnlyFans? And she was like, no, but I haven't ruled it out. She like, and then all of a sudden she's doing feet pics on.
No, I don't.
OnlyFans.
I hate to because
It's an actress. It's a famous actress.
Oh yeah, it just came out.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I don't remember what she's from.
But what are our feelings on feet pics?
We have a very
Or
No
financially.
fucking judgment.
we have very strong opinions in
Okay,
our family.
we as a family are very anti-foot. You know how
Like,
some
put-
people are like pro-foot,
Put your feet on
neutral
safe.
foot, and anti-foot? We're an anti-foot family. But
Like, it's covered up.
I love my girls that are hustling. Like, if there are freaks out there that will pay you,
Who are you married to?
Her mother.
Okay.
good answer.
Cheryl, where are you?
No. I mean, it's a good question. It's the right way to ask it too.
That was a beautiful.
Because it
way
could
to
be
answer.
like, yeah.
Everyone in this podcast right now?
Yeah, but
Yeah, we're still
absent of
going.
line. Oh, see.
Oh,
Dad
yeah,
said
there you go.
absolutely.
Dad said,
Yeah.
gotta go.
Dad called a. Dad pulled
Dad-
the ripcord.
Dad
That's
Dad
what we
basically
heard.
said off air.
Dad comes over and turns off our
Yeah.
sound.
Here we go. Ready? Off. There you go.
Off air.
Look at Emma loves
Oh,
the music.
we got another guest.
But Emma can control
Who's our
the
other
wine pour
guest?
here.
Emma, would you like to introduce yourself to the pod?
No. I want to sit on the end. I'll let you.
I don't know if you can see me, but hello
about
guys.
places.
My name is Emma. I work at. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say, but anyway, my name is Emma. I work at Bodie's Chop House. One of my favorite places. One of my favorite people. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so perfect because we're talking about
We're just
places.
talking about
That's our
places and how
topic.
places become
We're
important
saying-
for
was
some
I-
stupid
was I
reason.
supposed
To be the person that told Ryan to get us more wine? Because I did.
No, you were not.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's
Now
so
stretch it out. Stretch it out.
How are your hip flexors? They're
My
okay?
faces are
Yeah.
never normal in pictures.
Your face is never
Montenegro.
normal?
I did that.
Oh.
I just can't. Did I say Amy
Why'd
Schumer?
you
Did I say that?
Did you see
Oh,
his name?
yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I know we're doing a podcast right now, but Cheryl should start like a sex talk podcast with her voice. I'm not kidding. Like that deep sultry. I love that voice. Look at this.
Ew.
Sultry.
Well, you
like,
could-
Can I hear
not
it?
like
You could probably take a stab at it
I'm
yourself.
cutting all of this out, by the way.
No, you're not.
I'm the editor. I'm cutting it all out. Look at how we're blowing out the mic. I'm cutting it for sure.
Well, you're gonna have to listen to it again.
No. This is second by second, girl. You were good. It's just.
Is your wife like this and like one of our
no, she's sassy and fun and like not in
No, but her voice
kidding
is it like
me?
this?
I'm sassy and fun too,
Little
but I'm
hand.
more dominant. And she's
I'm gonna cry on this. That's
Ooh, Alicia.
So
sweet, but she can't be done.
Wait, are we talking about voice
She's
levels?
sweet, but she can be dominant. My dream
Wow. Wow.
Dream girl. Sorry.
Dang.
Sorry.
We are going places
Sorry,
with
he's
this.
given him an entire face routine, a facial routine.
Yeah, that's
That's
called.
fast.
You know what that's called? The girlfriend effect. It's when men get a girlfriend and their skin clears up and they start dressing. like
Ryan.
I've been married for almost 11 years.
They need
Okay,
some
so
red
it's the wife
wine,
effect.
sir.
You know.
The wife effect.
It's the same. It's the same concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I paid a long
Women
time
make men
ago.
better.
Ryan, do we owe any more money?
Only if you feel guilty.
It's a dangerous question to ask.
After this red wine, is it?
I think you should ask that guy
Guys, so
the question about.
Wait, Chadwick, come back. We need your opinion.
About?
Come back. Oh, this is great.
Okay, so the topic of the podcast.
I think you need to squish right in.
Yeah,
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
we just want to make sure you pick up on the or on the mic.
but your
Um,
model face.
The topic of the of the podcast is the value of places. So we discussed the idea of home. So
This is our home away from home.
right. So he was talking about how you are currently renovating somewhere, and it doesn't feel like your home because the place that you lived before felt more like home because right now
Once it was finished.
you're in like a project mindset with your current house.
so good here.
So I'd love to know what makes you think a place is home? What qualifies somewhere as home versus a house?
A sense of serenity, organization.
Ooh, organization is new. Can I ask what your
like orderliness?
What is your zodiac sign?
Aquarius.
She just was like,
Okay, we're gonna. I don't really. Can we not go down that weird?
We won't get into it. We've already kind of touched on it previously in previous episodes, but I just needed to know for my own edification.
So I like when things have places.
Right.
Just organized or compartmentalized.
Yes.
So in that transitional phase where you're doing the work, it's
Everything's all
very,
over the place.
very chaotic.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. But okay, but once everything is set and you're starting to move in, at what point does it feel less like, okay, this is now our home base, but now it's a home, you know? Like, what is that transition? What changes it for you?
As things are, as projects or things are completed, there's not this, like, smattering of, like, in progress things all over the place.
Like projects to complete all the time. Emma's here with a bottle of wine in her hand, like the wine fairy.
I have a question.
You know why?
When you go home, when you go back to the place you live tonight, will it not feel like home?
No, it'll feel
It feels like home.
It feel like it, but it's kind of
like
dismissive.
home, but it's like chaos.
For now.
Yeah.
Well, it only feels like home because of the people that are there.
That's part of it.
Well, that's what Cheryl
But
and
it's
Adam
also because
said.
I have the vision of what it will look like when it's done.
Oh, so you
Okay.
can see what
Yeah.
it will be and
Yes.
kind of project your feelings about what it will be into your current situation. And be
Like right now, I know that there's like shit
investing.
spread everywhere.
Yeah.
But I know that like once this project's done, that will be gone. Once this project's done, that will be gone. Once
And
this
being
project's
in
done,
those
that
in
will be
between
gone.
phases has nothing to do with anything as long as the person that you're with makes it.
You know it's gonna.
Yeah.
I don't.
that's part of
Okay.
it.
Makes it home.
Well. Okay. Because see,
Sorry, maybe
I agree
sorry,
that
I
that
apologize.
people make home, but I live alone. So my home doesn't have to do with the people around me. It's like me being able to
you
feel
have a place to
comfortable.
surrender.
Right. I'm investing.
Yeah,
I'm
that's exactly.
I'm nesting. Like I feel safe and like in a video game where you hit like a save. Like you've gotten far enough that the game auto saves, so if you die, you respawn at a certain spot.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with my house. You know?
So I guess what is the point in the
Like-
question here
like-
of all? Because I came in the middle.
So the original question was what makes you distinguish between a house versus a home?
A home. That's a good question. I was recently considering that actually.
Right.
Because, well,
We know where you are. We used to live. We're
well,
in
you
the
know where
neighborhood you guys are.
So, but you know where I live. But do you know that I just recently called my marriage off?
Yeah,
So-
you told me earlier tonight.
Well, we're cutting this out too.
I
You don't
can
have to.
I can edit,
It's fine. Like this.
leave in or leave out as much as you care.
Well, do you want people to follow
don't-
or not? I
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
real,
right?
This
This
is
is-
real. These
People
are-
care about real human.
Yeah, I love Ryan to death,
Yeah.
and I hope to marry him someday. But like, a house and a home are two different things, and I want the people that I am living with in my home to be the people that make my home a home. Like, I want to be able to have conversations with them that break boundaries, and like, there's nothing is held back. kind
Yeah.
of thing, and that's hard to do with someone like Ryan. He's very withheld and close-minded.
Ah.
Yeah. So it's I don't have a problem, honestly, at all with you, and honestly, he doesn't think that far ahead, so
Yeah.
he's fine as well. But that's what to me. Sorry, I didn't mean to like monopolize this whole conversation, but that's
Well,
what makes
we're
a house a
curious
home.
also. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that it's the people that you have in it. And
All right, yeah, and I think that it's really interesting because I think both of your experiences do give us really good information on what the
Yeah.
topic was.
Yeah.
I would like to ask both of you, since you're both
Open.
Here and ready
jumping
to share.
in
Yeah.
as
It's open.
real
love
quick.
it.
I know
I
you
may
look
have-
you look real itchy, like you
really
want to
wants
get
to
the hell
leave,
out of
yeah.
I
here.
may have
Fine.
told him
But
that
I
we
want
need to
to
go
ask.
over
I
here.
want to ask you one more question, if you will are okay with it. Outside of Hinsdale and the future hope of the current project, when was the last time you felt home?
Ooh.
Today.
Yeah.
Here?
No. At home.
Where?
At
Oh,
our
at
house.
home. Okay.
Okay, but prior to that, I'm saying like what was prior to these two things that we've heard about.
No. Here they used to live in Hinsdale, and you live in a current place now, and then you have another place that's also a project.
No. Our current home in Ada
is the project.
Is the project.
Okay, so
We're renovating our whole house.
outside of that place that you live now and the place you used to live,
which was Hinsdale.
when was the last time you felt at home? No, I love it. When was the last time you felt?
Well, no, I just want to know what it was, and I would like you to describe that
what made
place.
It feel that way?
So when we left Hinsdale, which we renovated from the ground up,
Ooh.
and we're renovating our current house completely, there was an interim period where we lived, everything was in storage, and we rented a fully furnished apartment downtown Grand Rapids. I felt home there.
Okay.
Not because it was any of my tangible items, but because we were back in Michigan. We had moved home. We were close to friends. We were close to family.
Cool.
We felt home because we were back where we started.
Interesting. Okay, so that's something we haven't
around
hit
the
on.
people you wanted to be with.
We were a couple hours drive from my family, a couple hours drive from his family. We were in the same city that we met and we were from and we got married in. We were in the same city that our friends all lived in. We were home.
Yeah.
Like,
Again, it's the people.
I think there's more to being home.
Yes.
Than just
than
a
the
place.
four walls around you.
100%,
It's the
yeah.
people you surround yourself. It's the city, the community.
It's not
that
the
you
furniture that
associate
you
yourself
spend
with.
your money on. It's not the.
Yes.
So
just being back in Grand Rapids, that felt like home.
It's
something
something to walk away
I love
from.
that.
We
Thank
didn't
you.
hit on that because for me, the state of Michigan, anytime I'm outside of it, I don't feel.
Yeah,
It's exciting, but I don't feel like I'm.
You're
home.
out of your comfort zone.
The state of Michigan, and honestly, Lake Michigan itself is like, if I'm far away from her for too long, I'm like, this is weird, and I need to get back home.
Yeah.
Like I freak out a little.
There's something about being quote unquote home.
Home, yeah.
About the geographical
yes,
location of
yes.
like where you feel like home.
100%.
So what is your answer to that? And
So-
you probably already did that.
Yeah,
but
so
what
we
is
hit
your
on it a
home?
little bit. So
Yeah.
so for me, it's like a new thing. Like my apartment that I've lived in it's been 2 years now. I'm going on 3. It's been the longest spot that I've lived in, with all my like all of my stuff, and I feel like it's mine
Independently.
You're an adult.
independently.
As an adult,
yeah,
you're living
yeah.
on your own.
I've
in
lived
this
there
place, yeah.
longest in the last 5 or 6 years.
You have no roommate. You're living.
no,
by
it's just
yourself.
me.
Yeah.
So it's
She's
like
got her 2 cats.
it's me and my 2 cats.
Solid.
So
That's a
I've
big
like
thing.
cultivated the environment around me
Yeah.
fully by myself.
Yeah, it's
and
your cocoon.
it feels like me in every way.
That's your home.
And,
You feel
yeah,
at
and
home
so
there.
what for me makes me realize, oh, I think of that place as home, is when I'm in like an emotionally charged situation where I'm like, I'm stressed out, I'm sad, I'm tired, I
What
need
is
to
that
leave.
emotionally charged?
It could be
situation?
anything. It could be anything.
But what is it
but
for you? I guess is the question.
honestly, it could be anything.
It
So
could be a shitty day at work. It could be
yeah.
like a fight with friends.
right.
Okay.
But
it
the
could be an
thing-
exam.
If I
Yeah.
think,
Like-
wow,
Sure,
I would
sure.
love to go home right now, and the
That's what she
place
thinks.
that flashes in my brain is somewhere that I need to go to recharge, that's my home.
And your flash in your brain is your
Is my
home
apartment.
in East Lansing
Right.
and your apartment.
So she
by
comes
yourself.
back here
To
and
your
and,
home.
and
But it's a
stays
visit.
in.
It's
but
always a visit.
It's not,
The
it's
original
very
home.
clear. This is
When
not
I say
home
or
anymore.
When I say,
Which is
okay,
fine.
I'm gonna
It's
go
great.
home,
Interesting, yeah.
it's not my parents' home anymore.
Yes,
It's my
I
home.
think about that all the time.
And that is something that has shifted in the last like
When
3
you went away to
years.
school,
Yeah.
I assume you went away from Grand Rapids, went to East Lansing. It sounds like.
Yes.
Did you ever come home in the summers?
Okay, so it's a
little
little
weird,
complicated
yeah.
because I went to Grand Valley first, and then COVID hit in the middle of my college. So when I went to Grand Valley, I would come back for summers. But then when I transferred to MSU, I stay there now.
She stays there.
I just had this conversation actually this past weekend with my mom, and when I moved away, so I'm from the east side, I'm from Detroit.
Okay.
When I moved to I went to Grand Valley for my undergrad. I kind of assumed maybe that my summer after freshman year, I would have come home.
Yeah.
But I wound up getting a job, and I never came home.
Never.
Yeah,
So
this is great.
I moved out after senior year in high school.
And you
And
literally
never came
never
back.
moved
Oh.
home ever again.
Whoa.
And it was like, that was one thing my mom was saying. She's
kinda what
like,
I was talking about.
did
Yeah.
not expect that when you left in the fall after your senior year in high school,
That you would
never,
never live
ever,
in my
ever
home
live
again.
at home again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was
that-
your first? Sorry.
No, I don't have a question. You have a question.
That was it. What was your first home after?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right? Like where did
After
that begin?
you left
I lived
for
in,
college,
freshman
yeah.
year, I lived in dorms. Then
Which never feel like
That's
home.
never
that never feels like home.
Yeah, that wasn't
That
so home was still
summer,
home.
I feel like I lived in off-campus housing in an apartment, my fraternity house.
So
Did that feel like home?
No.
No,
Yeah,
so
of
still a
course
willy
It
nilly.
was just kind of like a
This is a place I
school-
crash, I guess.
school
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
That sophomore, well, and so I also went to school while I was in high school, so I entered college as a sophomore.
Yeah.
of
course.
That second year, was technically my senior year.
Okay. If you keep flexing like that, you're gonna pull a muscle.
Yeah, we're gonna
Right.
edit you out.
So that second year in college, I lived in the off-campus apartment, which was my fraternity house. Then,
Not home.
then I moved downtown, Grand Rapids, from Allendale.
Okay.
Did that feel like home?
No, because I was like fulfilling my sister's sublease when
Oh,
that ended.
wow.
Weird.
She went to Aquinas and moved, like graduated, but still had time left in her apartment, so I finished that out. And then I think probably the first time I felt like home was when I had my own lease in an off-campus apartment downtown at American Seating,
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Like up off of like
Yeah, it's
Stewart and
just north of
7th
yeah,
Street.
just north of downtown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And that was my
So-
own lease. But mind you, I still had like random roommates.
But
Sure.
it sounds okay.
I
So
think the first time I ever felt home was after I graduated, after I was living in American Seating. I bought a condo when I was like 21, and I lived by myself for the first time.
yeah.
Bought.
Okay. So I was gonna
It was a
say
foreclosure.
it sounds
Don't get me
like
wrong.
That's
Like,
fine.
let's
That's fine.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
foreclosure.
yeah.
But it still worked in my
But
favor.
it sounds like
Good
the,
times.
The
Yeah, right.
through line, at least with your experience and my experience, is the like independence and like the claim of it being your own.
It was
Yes.
when you were solo.
Yeah.
Right.
So like when it always
ties.
felt like everywhere I lived was somebody else's place
Until it's
until
wrong.
this
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, totally.
Now
100%.
it's
It's
my
in your
spot.
name.
Yeah.
Once it's in your
Literally,
name,
my name
it's
was on the
your-
deed.
Yeah.
It was mine.
Yeah.
I was responsible for
You're
the mortgage.
responsible.
I was responsible for the monthly HOA dues. Like,
Yep. Pay for
That was my
this.
problem.
Pay for this in any way you can. Yeah.
Also, being like living
I filled it with
alone,
IKEA furniture. Right?
dude. Mine's all Facebook Marketplace. Like everything in my apartment is Facebook
My
Marketplace.
grown-ass adult married life is all
Yes,
Facebook
it's,
Marketplace.
it's a treasure
You
trove.
get better shit that way.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, that's interesting that we have
Price.
like multiple different opinions. Like we all have varying actual stated opinions, but I think it all boils down to the same thing.
Totally. Thanks, man.
Like
I love that this podcast changed from places to home.
homes. Yeah.
What
yeah,
does
home.
what does the
Home feel
being
like?
home mean?
Which honestly I think though it was the root of what
It
we
is
were,
the root of it.
what we were
like
going for.
we
the
feel
entire
like we're at
time.
home here. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
we're
it's,
doing
it's
this.
just us looking for home in places that aren't our home.
I think it's
That's
so
all it is.
interesting.
This is our second home.
I think it's so interesting. So it's not mine. So I think it's so
What's your
interesting.
second home?
I've had many before this because I'm not from Grand Rapids.
Right.
I'm from Lansing. I've lived in Lansing like my entire life since I was very little. So I don't know much outside of it. I know a lot outside of it, but I just feel like that's a question that I encounter all the time
Yeah.
in my own mind is like my mom, like I grew up in Grand Ledge, kind of farming, whatever. Lansing was very close. It was not that great. It was a little more seedy when I was younger. It's grown to be a lot more like progressive and things are like expansive
Yeah.
and like, this and that.
Things, yeah.
But like I'm here and I feel like I say that to myself a lot because my mother
Yeah.
recently moved from my childhood home. My childhood home, if you can call it my childhood home, is in Grand Ledge. ish to Kalamazoo. So she moved the, bottom line of Michigan. And I don't, I've gone and stayed at her house in times of need. Those times of need where I need to be at home are the times that I've gone to my mother and my father. So for me, it's never been a place. It's never been a physical place. It's my people. So I can't
that's true.
feel the same way as anybody.
But okay, but when you think, ugh, I'm tired, let's go home. Like, you're not thinking of your parents' house, right? Oh, they're cranking the music on us. Hey, we're recording. He's going to turn it down. We're about to close it out here. We've gone for long, but okay.
No, but I like that. I like that
love
we
all
got
of these perspectives.
all this feedback.
It adds.
I can't put it on a place. I can't put it on a time.
Yeah.
I love that.
If I need to go home, my home is my mom or my dad.
Yeah.
Or my sister.
Oh,
It doesn't have to be tangible.
Right. Yeah.
My tangible is not.
That's very true.
Not my home.
That's
See,
very
again,
true.
it's interesting that we had this idea that we're going to talk about places.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But-
home is
That
not a
have
place.
some
But we.
Home is a feeling, not a place.
Yes. Yeah.
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 and it turned into home and where we get that sense of home from, and I love that that's what it turned into.
Yeah,
because
I feel like that's
it's
an answer.
really
it's an answer to our question of what is the value of places. It's finding your home outside of your home. Yeah.
Different people have these great experiences and they're willing to share them, and it was great.
And then,
I love it.
Everyone's different. 'Cause
Yes.
Everybody's
Everybody had a
different.
different answer. It was so cool.
Because if people find other people, their home outside of their home, mine's my family.
Yeah.
And some people's
They don't want to be with their family.
It's not
No.
their
yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Well, thank you guys.
We really hit on it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Reba, thank you. Chadwick, thank you. Adam. Thank you, Cheryl. She's not listening. Thank you, Ryan, who popped in very briefly but didn't give much of an input.
He's a pop.
Thank you, all of our.
iPhone
Guests.
storage full.
Uh-oh. We lost our video.
Cheers.
But we're going to cheers to all of our guests.
Hey,
Thank you, everybody.
Hope to see you
for
guys again
contributing.
soon.
Oh, I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks much.
For a conversation.
And thank you to our shallow friends for, pressing play on another one of our.
Yeah, I
Another one
think
of our
this one's going to be
episodes.
one where
This one's going to be a chonker.
I think just run it straight through.
Yeah, ride the wave with us.
Like
ride
it's
the wave
going to
with
be.
us.
Can I kiss you both on a cheek?
Oh my god.
Ready?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
let me make it
It's not being recorded, but you can.
No, come on.
Oh, she's wiping all of her goop off.
Wait, and I gotta.
You rock.
Oh, yes, let's make that easy for me. Thank you.
Aw, it's a podcast kiss. A podcast. How cute. All right. Thank you, shallow friends.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.